Okay, so, after 6 long years, including 3 of singing The Phantom of the Opera and Think of Me and wishing you were somehow here again and stuff, I watched The Phantom of the Opera. The 2004 version. I love the show. I love the big spectacle it is. I love how colorless hair looks like a massive pile of shit no matter how it's styled. I like clapping at her horrible, horrible accent. I like Meg Jari because I think she's just the most precious little girl, and I love Christine Dia's singing voice because it's so awesome. I love Raoul for being oh so hot, and Gerard, but screw this, let's get to the point. I love everything about The Phantom of the Opera, except for one thing. The Phantom of the Opera. It's Gerard Butler, which is awesome, and one finally knows where he got the epic chords to perform the line, for which he is now universally known. Enough said. But, back to that. I digress. All I really want to say is that the Phantom is a big, fat pedophile. Pedophile. First things first, maths. Christine is about 20 in canon or 20-something. The Phantom's age is not given, but he's obviously older. While this can't be considered pedophilia any longer, he's had designs on her for about 10 years. Wikipedia gives his observation as nearly 10 years of quiet obsession. That's a long time. It means when he started watching her, she was about 10. And that would have been pedophilia then. So yeah, I mean, have you looked at his bachelor pad? Huge underground cave, lots of candles everywhere, big, fat river, scary looking black boat that looks like a coffin, the works. Look at his bed. Large, round, silver bed frame with red velvet inner. Look at the bed. How many people look like they could fit on that bed? Think, it's not too hard. The Phantom put Christine on one side of the bed, so rationally, the other side is for, well, you know. Well, in any case, it would explain all the candles and that very ambient cave. Best part of the cave? Definitely the wax figure. You know you've got one obsessed fanboy when he has a one-to-one figure of his object of affection. In a wedding dress. Now we know how obsessed this guy is. To the otaku and hikikomori who watch this, take note. This guy's fanboy collectible is hard to top. You may have your 1-to-6 and 1-to-3 figures, but there's really nothing like 1-to-1. And hey, if the object of your affections faints, then it means the 1-to-1 was really accurate. Of course, Haruhi Suzumiya doesn't really exist. Neither does Konata, Rei, Miku, or any of the other figures you may have. So yeah, no chance of that happening. How does he afford all this shit? Extortion, of course. Because back in the day, DNA and fingerprinting didn't exist. His going rate is a minimum of 20,000 francs a month. This translates naturally to a lot of money. In modern day and in my language, this translates to a lot of age now to and a lot of black piece now. And he demands box 5 be left empty for his personal use. Demands, seriously? You get free concert tickets every night? I pay $110 to watch Wicked, you boob. That's not very fair. Now I want to be you. And if he doesn't get his way, he kills people like the hapless Joseph Bouquet. Usually through strangulation by rope. Seriously, maturity please! You can talk things over, man, no one likes a terrorist. On a side note, his knowledge of ropes and knots is an interesting topic. It makes for a lot of very, very disturbing fanfiction. Aside from his massive living quarters, you'll notice that the Phantom takes very well to Barney Stinson's refrain. Suit up! In what I think is his most normal set of clothes, he wears black shoes, black trousers, a white collared shirt under a grey vest, under a black tailcoat, under a black cape, and his trademark white mask. Point 1 from this, his clothes. For a guy who lives in a cave, you wonder why he has such beautiful clothes. I would say eBay, but he doesn't live in this era, so I'm going with Madame Jari. Procurement aside, he needs to wash his clothes somehow, and what better way to do that than to use that gigantic underground river. Please take a moment to imagine that scene from The Phantom of the Opera where Christine sings to him, played with soap bubbles everywhere. Atmosphere totally ruined. Point 2. How does that mask even stick on? Here in this day and age, we are lucky to possess a beautiful thing called face glue, which is why Lady Gaga can stick all that glitter on her face like in Love Game. But no, what did he have back in the day to hold it up? No one knows. Whether it's fencing with Raoul, turning his head sharply, or in that aerial chase scene with Monsieur Bouquet where he climbs ropes, that mask never falls off! Double-sided tape was invented in 1972. I saw it on the internet. And Phantom of the Opera is set 100 years before. Suffice to say, while I doubt I'll ever know what he uses, please tell me if you know. I'd like to try it. Next big point. With 20,000 francs a month, I'm not even going to question how he eats. I trust Madame Jari does that for him too. My most pertinent point is that with 20,000 francs a month, why has he not used this money to go through reconstructive surgery? I don't really like reconstructive surgery, mind you, but your face is deformed. You have the right. You can bloody well afford it at that. Blow out some candles, eat a little less, sell that bloody wax figure. It scares the shit out of everyone. You're not even paying rent for your cave. You know what? If you made that wax figure, Phantom, go double as an artisan. It's France, it's Paris, you should get better money here than anywhere else. That, and you'll be able to stop freaking harassing and killing people because you'll be too busy selling awesome artwork. Back to the bit about reconstructive surgery. Surely you can do it. You get 20,000 francs a month. Of course surgeons will line up to operate on you. You've got big money, man. Use it. Money talks. And at the end of it all, you'll come out looking like that dashing man, Gerard Butler. And then you can function as a working member of conventional society, very much unlike yours truly. But no. Instead, you spend your time furnishing that huge bachelor pad cave of yours without a care for your face. No cleanser or anything. You should be happy that half your face already looks like the dashing Gerard Butlers at this stage. Keeping this shit up is not easy for the rest of us, man. Where are your priorities? You fail! Fail! Yes, everyone. I know he's had a bad childhood, and they called him the devil child and all that, but still, that doesn't really justify the pedophilia. Maybe the violence. Not the pedophilia. Dude needs to learn social skills, and this is where Madame Jari has failed. Then again, with that much money, he should have gone to see a counselor. And then he expects Christine to marry him? I mean, pedophilia aside, courting a girl for 10 years is probably sufficient in any standard case to lead up to a proposal if the girl gives back. She does give back. She sings for him. She sings really well. But she never sees his face in the 10 years, far as we can see. And when she finally does see him, he cockblocks himself and only shows half his face. To the Phantom, this is not Match.com. It's real life. If you've got no balls to get her in your full glory, and if you're gonna yell at her after she takes off your mask, which is something she deserves to do, by the way, since you want to marry her, then you kind of should be able to marry her. You know? Just saying. As selfish as you are, think about the prospects of her marrying you anyway. Him. Nobility? Check. Money? Check. Golden locks and full face? Check. You? Nobility? Nope. Money? Check. By why would have long thrown you in jail in our world today. Locks? Not really. Full face? Hell no. Anger issues? Big fat check. Please, for your own sake, let her go. Keeping a girl hostage isn't exactly marriage. And it's not like you'd ask a priest down to marry the two of you anyway, so it would never count. And I think I'm done. I apologize if I've spoiled any of your little obsessions with the Phantom of the Opera. I still enjoy it, but, you know, the Phantom of the Opera. Oh well. Bye then.